Hello, I want to show you today what were the findings I have for the Units of Study pilot program that we had at Christie Elementary second grade last school year, and I hope you enjoy what we have for you. In my classroom, as we mentioned before in the presentation, it was really important to have the whole unit of studying one language of instruction. The lessons in one language for a long period of time help the students to reinforce the content and vocabulary. That was awesome. The second finding or good thing I found about this pilot is about the resources. We used to have some lack of resources, especially in Spanish, to guide our students for the units of study. However, now that we have the whole unit in one language, we had the opportunity to collect more resources to be able to guide our students better. Before, when we were switching one every other week the language of instruction, the students didn't seem to be engaged. They were kind of not understanding maybe well the content of what we were trying to teach them. And for us as teachers, it was awesome because we were having the time to plan better and to provide the students with a better instruction. So the resources, the use of the resources were more efficiently used, and the mentor books available helped us to support our lessons. Finally, the language of instruction given for a long period of time for a whole unit was really beneficial because we saw that previously some students were really not focusing on any of the languages. We were growing maybe just in one side because they were more comfortable with that language. They had more options, right, to just stick on the comfortable zone. But since we were encouraging them to stick with the language of instruction, we saw improvement in writing, in reading, and in the speaking part as well. And I want to show you here that the students really improved in writing, reading, and speaking. I'm going to show you some slides that we use to support the students to do this improvement, to make this improvement. Also, we provided sentence frames, paragraphs, where like closing paragraphs where we were inputting the information we knew or they knew, and also the preview, view, and review. In addition, with the ESL and SLD support, truly made the difference in the way the students were participating. They were engaged, they were happier, they were really looking forward to collaborate with their friends, to write about what they were learning. And one of the things that I used to do with my students, remember that the preview, view, and review was given during the e-learning portion of the year. So I used to meet with them in small groups, leveled small groups. And this group that you see here is a group that is on level or above level in Spanish, and they have high or advanced performance in English as well. So they were developing very nicely both languages. And since the reading part was in Spanish and the writing part was in English, I used what they knew in Spanish to transfer the information for the writing portion. In the writing portion, we were learning how to write a letter, and we used to begin with the Spanish part. And I used to go over the information with them, like in this case, hey, estamos leyendo Garfield en tu grupo, en su grupo. ¿Qué sabemos de Garfield? ¿Cómo es el personaje? ¿Cómo se comporta? Ellos estaban colaborando totalmente en la clase y lo que vemos del lado izquierdo de la pantalla, aquí es los comentarios que íbamos dando poco a poco y yo lo iba escribiendo en el pizarrón de Zoom. Así que cuando terminábamos de tener una idea en español, entonces yo les decía, por ejemplo, ahora la escritura sabemos que es en inglés y tenemos que escribir una carta, ¿ok? Así que, listen to this. Let's change the language of instruction. And if we said, Garfield cambia de ánimo muy seguido, ¿cómo lo dirías en inglés? Ahí ocurría una discusión entre los compañeros y empezaban a dar sus ideas volátiles. Y yo lo diría de este modo, yo lo diría del otro. Entre todos lográbamos ir escribiendo las oraciones que vemos del lado derecho. Now, Garfield changes his emotions very often. We are not translating, but we are together, analyzing and transferring the information we know in Spanish to English. By the end of the period we were learning how to write these letters, I can tell you the after product was awesome. This part is just how is the character. Later in the weeks, we were adding more information to this letter using pretty much the same approach. How you know, what information do you know in Spanish? How you transfer that information to English. It was a great example, a great activity I made with them, or we did together, and the writing improved during that time. Now, the next one, this student is just one-on-one with me. His Spanish is not on level, neither his English. So remember, we were trying to encourage them to stay with the language of the study of the unit. And in this case, for him, we couldn't analyze what he knew in Spanish and then transfer immediately to English. So I provided these frames for them to fill the information out. At the beginning, his answers were really simple. Like, I think this book is great because I like it. Another reason I like this book is because it's awesome. The final reason I like this book is because it's my favorite. So by the time we used to be together in small groups, we used to dig a little bit deeper. So the part that you see in red took us some time, but we were really engaged in this conversation of, hey, I think this book is great because, why do you think this book is great? Finally, he said, because he's a hero. Oh, let's write it down. So I wrote it down and I said, why do you think he's a hero? What does he do that tells you that he's a hero? After a few minutes, he started really opening up, and we ended up putting, one time he was fighting hot robots because they wanted to destroy the world. That part for him was a hint to give him the idea that he was a hero. So when he saw that he could elaborate a little bit more from his reading, he looked definitely like happier. Every week he was ready for the class, one-on-one with me, and we were able to improve little by little his writing. This is powerful when we provide this scaffolding. Also, the preview part of the program, the lesson, the mini lesson, remember I have the preview, view, and review. The preview part used to be in English. In this case, the writing portion is in Spanish. So the previous teaching point and the current teaching point, I used to give it in English, just to begin with that background knowledge, to start with to waking up their schema. So after giving them the preview, see here I have a little comment here is predict, predecir. Today, we are gonna predict what the character is doing. So on the view part, I used to switch to Spanish and luego les daba el punto de enseñanza en español y juntos íbamos elaborando. Claro, yo ya tenía esta presentación preparada, hablábamos más del personaje, pero claro, como ya habíamos estado leyendo Junie B. Jones en Read Aloud, en lectura en voz alta, juntos, en videos o en persona, ellos ya conocían mejor al personaje. Esa es la belleza de poder continuar con el mismo mentor book o el libro que nos sirve para dar la instrucción durante un periodo más largo. Nosotros conocíamos mejor a Junie B. Jones, así que esta parte de lectura donde teníamos que conocer mejor y más al personaje se fue convirtiendo en algo más fructífero, más rico. Asimismo, podríamos platicar, y en el primer capítulo, ¿te acuerdas? ¿Cómo actuaba ella cuando estaba con la maestra, con su mamá? ¿Cómo actuaba con sus amigos? ¿Y cómo actuaba con el granjero? Empezábamos ya a analizar un poco más a fondo al personaje. Y finalmente, la actividad con la que cerraba la clase era en español también. Vamos a discutir con los compañeros cómo se comporta Junie B. Jones. Importante, aquí también estoy proveyendo el párrafo o las oraciones básicas para que ellos puedan complementar o ayudarse a responder en su tarea. Eso les da más confianza y los resultados en Flipgrid, que es una aplicación maravillosa donde ellos pueden grabarse, pueden escucharse, regrabar si es necesario, poner su comentario y siempre les ponía el reto de darle el comentario a por lo menos 2 de sus compañeros. Una vez más, aquí les estoy ofreciendo 2 oraciones de anclaje donde ellos pueden apoyarse en ellas para desarrollar su habilidad de comunicación. Así que muy poderoso el poderles dar esta instrucción con un view and review. And finally, we used to close the class with the opposite language of instruction. And very quick, we used to close, what do you remember we learned today? To notice what a character relationship show, we need to notice these points, and then we used to close the class. Of course, the assignments were looking better and better. We were using a lot of Seesaw and Flipgrid to be able to communicate our thoughts or what we were learning. So overall, these are my findings. Thank you for your time, and I hope next school year you will have great findings as well. We are all learning, we are all improving the bilingual program at Christie Elementary. So my guess is that our students are gonna rock. They're gonna do great. Thank you for your patience, and we'll continue learning together. Take care. Bye.